Well, I certainly didn't hear that again. Did anybody hear an intro? Because I didn't. Oh my gosh. I just told him, I'm like, I'm gonna go live, so can you be quiet? Yeah, right. Just give me a second. So did anybody hear it? You did hear it. Okay, so I can't hear it, but everybody else can. So weird. Well, mom of three. Hey, Brenda. Hey, cool gamer. He's still yapping. Okay, so I actually haven't read this book. But there's another book in this. It's a bonus story at the end of this book, and it is called The Minivan Murders. I actually have that novel in my little library there, and I have read it, and it's bad. They like really bad. They use that van as a torture chamber. So it pretty much gives you the idea of yeah, what they're all about. This couple's disgusting. All right, I'm just going to start. So this is called The Staircase, and it's called The Murder of Kathleen Peterson. Which absolutely 100% I truly believe because the evidence just suggests that. Hey, autistic. Hey, Patty. Yeah, I was just with you. I said hi to you, autistic, but you didn't see me, I don't think, in Science Girl stream. Excuse me if I seem distracted, but the same people who've been attacking me and Steffi are still at it. Yeah, I was hearing that. I'm just like, what is going on? And it's all the same group of people. They need to, like, for one thing, autistic, isn't MS both her channels were removed, right? So how is she doing this? Is she still panel hopping? Is she still going on Devious's channel? Is she just putting shit out on Twitter? Like, what's going on with that? That's crazy. I'm sorry, that sucks. Alrighty, here is the introduction. So it says love, affection, romance, happiness, care, kids, beauty, trust, belief. These are some of the other names when describing the relationship of a husband and wife. Both partners are responsible to make the world beautiful for each other, whether it's about sharing duties or enjoying the moments. One is incomplete without the other. Hey, Great Dane. Or we can say that the world is nothing if one goes away because there is no one who could take that special person's place. Definitely, I think we would all love to think that, should be thinking that, but the world is not a perfect place. Some people get that in their life, and that's impressive. Oh, really? That's what this is all about. Well, okay, I'm definitely out of the loop. That's ridiculous. Oh, I'm sorry, that's awful. And they don't stop either. Yeah. But what happens when one spouse decides to eliminate the other? What would happen if one decides to live the rest of his or her life with someone else or alone? That is the time when feelings die and the relationship has no better option but separation. But guess what? If they do have children, they would be the real victims since they have to decide with whom they want to live. This happened with Todd and Clayton Peterson, with their parents, Michael and Patricia Peterson, separated. Although they were happy, something went wrong in their relationship, which caused them to go their separate ways. Luckily, Michael found a new partner in Kathleen, Atwater, and they were married after dating for some time. Or, unlucky for Kathleen, their lives changed when Kathleen Peterson was found dead on the staircase of their Durham mansion. Everything changed. Police claimed that it was a murder, and Michael was the prime suspect. The spouse is usually the number one suspect in any domestic homicide. So read this true crime story and get to know about how Michael dealt with the trial, what the evidence was and lacked that found him guilty of murder, and where he is right now. The book is full of interesting plots and twists that actually happened throughout the proceedings. That's going to be interesting. I thought this said playground. Nope, it was background. All right, so this is the background and personal life. Michael Peterson is now in the mid 70s. Oh, I guess he would be, eh? He lives a quiet life in Durham, North Carolina, and maintains relationships with his two biological children, Clayton and Todd, and their adopted siblings, Margaret and Martha. Most of the rest of his family is estranged. Mike was born in Nashville, Tennessee on October 23rd, 1943, to Eugene, spelled this way, Ivor Peterson and Eleanor Peterson. Michael had one brother, Jack. Eugene was a career military officer, and the family moved frequently. Traveling encouraged Michael to become an avid reader. He hoped to become a celebrated author in the tradition of his favorite author, Ernest Hemingway. It happened in your state? Oof, that's like crazy. Oh my gosh, my phone's going crazy. Oh, it's my sister. A student of political science at Duke University, Michael was involved in campus activities. He edited the student newspaper, The Chronicle, and was president of Stigma Nu Fraternity. He graduated in 1965 and briefly attended law school at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. In 1965, Michael first got married to Patricia Sue in Durham, where she used to teach at an elementary school of the Rhine-Main Air Base near Frankfurt, West Germany. They were blessed with two sons, Clayton and Todd. While living in Germany, the Petersons became close friends with Elizabeth and George Ratliff and their two children, Margaret and Martha. After George died, Elizabeth relied on the Petersons for emotional support. Then, in 1985, Elizabeth died after falling down the what? After falling down the stairs in her home, and Michael became guardian of the two girls. Whoa, whoa! I didn't never know about this. So he gets married to Patricia Sue in Durham, and they're good friends. Elizabeth and George. So George passes, and then Elizabeth apparently relied on the Petersons for emotional support, and then all of a sudden she died falling down the fucking stairs. Hell no, wow, that's a little suspicious. That's hugely suspicious. Really? I did not know that, Brenda. Whoa, she died after falling down the stairs in her home, and Michael became guardian of the two girls. Wow. Patricia and Michael divorced in 1987. The reasons were unknown, and the couple maintained a congenial relationship after the divorce. Martha and Margaret continued to live with Michael. Clayton and Todd stayed with their mother at first, then moved in with Michael and the girls who had moved to Durham, North Carolina. He walked her home that night. Do you think he did it? Like on my instincts are screaming he did it. Just there's no way in hell that you've got two women in your life that fell down the stairs and died. Like, come on. Okay, autistic. I'll look at it on Twitter, I'm assuming, right? That must be you who's messaging too. I think so. Let me check. Okay, it is you. All right, yeah, I'll check this after. Yeah, I never knew that either, Patty. That is crazy. Kathleen Hunt Atwater was a neighbor of the Petersons in Durham. 10 years his junior, Kathleen was a leader and prominent citizen in Durham. A divorced mother of one, daughter Caitlin, Kathleen was an executive at Nortel Networks, where she received awards for her leadership. She traveled for her work to Russia, Ukraine, Vietnam, Malaysia, Europe, Hong Kong, and Canada. Michael met Kathleen through their children. Caitlin was friends with Martha and Margaret and was thrilled when in 1989 Michael and the children moved in with Kathleen and Caitlin. They were married in 1997. At that time, they lived in a home on Bull City Rising, described as being over 9,000 square feet and sitting on 3.5 acres of land. The home had 5 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms, plenty of room for the family. Later on, they moved to a Durham mansion of 11,000 square feet with their 5 children. The family tree of Michael was a bit complicated since it compromises of a lot of people who were not related to him directly. Well, that's interesting. So, Caitlin Atwater, Michael's stepdaughter, who was worried about her mother getting married with someone she already knew. Really? She was a friend of Martha and Margaret and, therefore, was feeling a bit confused about a relationship after Michael and Kathleen married. She was very happy when Michael and Kathleen got married since she found nothing but love and affection in their relationship. Yeah, I agree with Patty. Keep your chin up. Everybody adores you, autistic. So if I ever see that, ever, well, obviously, all of us in here and EKC's chat, everybody will stick up for you. Absolutely. I'm not going to go look for a fight, but if I see something, I'll say something. So Clayton Peterson, elder son of Patricia and Michael, who used to live with Michael after his parents got divorced, he believed that his father was innocent of Kathleen's murder. Now, Todd Peterson, the second son from Michael's first wife, who was always there for Michael's support. Margaret Ratliff, one of the adopted daughters of George and Elizabeth Ratliff, she also believed that her new father didn't do anything. Martha Ratliff, sister of Margaret, and a supporter of Michael. Although Michael was an admitted bisexual who reportedly had repeated sexual encounters with men throughout their marriage, the children said the marriage was a happy one and the Petersons were excellent parents. What? I didn't know he was bisexual. There's a lot of things in here I don't know. But that's why I love books. Hi, Deb. No, don't be sorry. I just started. I'm just going through like basically the background of why they have so many children. Um, Two of them are adopted. Funnily enough, we're from a couple where the father had passed and the mother fell down the stairs and died. That's two people. I think he had an affair with Kathleen while he was married. Oh, probably. I totally believe that. Absolutely. I would believe that. He's wow. So he reportedly had repeated sexual encounters with men throughout their marriage. The children said the marriage was a happy one, and the Petersons were excellent parents. After Kathleen's death, Michael was reported as saying, "Kathleen was my life. I whisper her name in my heart 1,000 times. She is there, but I cannot stop crying." Aw, you're oblivious today. Yeah, but some people aren't getting notifications either, Deb. Like 420 Melanie, she never gets it. And she's oh my God, she's subbed and unsubbed so many times. And I'm horrible at letting people know I'm going live. Even well, because I think um it's like already on a timeline. Timeline. It's already on my page, so I just you don't get notifications either, eh? Try unsubbing and then sub again and hit the bell and hit all. Try that. Hopefully it'll work. I don't understand. It does it a lot with my channel. A lot of people are going through that. It's weird. Oh, you weren't paying attention. Gotcha, gotcha. Petersons did have family issues. Clayton Peterson had turbulent teenage years in Germany. He moved to Durham to be with his father, planning to attend Duke University. At the age of 19, however, he was arrested and subsequently convicted of planting a pipe bomb submerged in gasoline in a Duke University administrative office. Holy. He admitted to the He admitted to the crime and said he had done it to divert attention from his simultaneous theft of photo identification equipment to make a fake ID. After serving time in prison, Clayton enrolled in North Carolina State University, where he became class valedictorian. And Clayton's one of the kids, right? Yeah, it's the older son of Patricia and Michael. Wow. Todd Clayton also graduated from NCSU and worked briefly at Nortel Networks, his stepmother's employer. He left, however, to start a website called Futazi.com. The site was a message board for teenagers and offered advice on dating, kissing, sexuality, and friendship. It also had photos of scantily clad high school girls. Todd had an alter ego on the site named Roman Croft. Croft was a bodybuilder, and the site showed before and after photos of him in boxer shorts. This screams bad news. Hey, Rhodey. Scott, Drew, and Michael, three men with the last name Peterson, and three dead women. I'm just saying I would stare. Yes, you're right, because there is Scott Peterson and Drew Peterson. They both killed their wives. Absolutely. Yep. A wild child, that, yeah. Yeah, because that's three Petersons that have murdered their wives. That's crazy. The Petersons were active members of the Durham community, and in 1999, Michael ran for mayor of Durham. He was soundly defeated after questions arose about his credibility. Peterson has served in Vietnam. He claimed several awards, including the Bronze Star and Valor and two Purple Hearts. He had no paperwork to back up his medals and later admitted he had received a Purple Heart and an honorable discharge after a car accident in Japan. There are signs that the apparently happy Peterson marriage may have been strained. Despite a supposed net worth of over 2 million, they had over 140,000 in credit card debt in 2001. When Martha Ratliff was slated to attend the University of San Francisco, a private college costing 33,000 per year, Michael contacted Martha's parental uncle to assist with 5,000 each semester. The uncle agreed. In November 2001, Michael contacted his ex wife, Patricia, requesting she take out a loan for $30,000 to pay off credit card debt incurred by their sons, Clayton and Todd. Reportedly, he told Patricia that he couldn't discuss the issue with Kathleen. As to Michael Peterson's bisexuality, it is unclear whether Kathleen knew about his relationships and agreed to them. Michael had at least one confirmed email relationship with a male escort. They had plans to meet in person, but the escort stood him up. There she is. Hey, Melanie. She never gets them either, but you're getting better at coming in here. It's like, I feel so bad. I posted on Twitter for people to see, but I don't know. I just don't like it that nobody's getting the notifications. I've been sneezing all day, so that's why I'm not on camera. Oh, I've been sneezing all day. My eyes been watering. They're itchy. Something, I don't know. I'm allergic to something in here today, apparently. But it started last night when I went out, so I don't know what the hell I got into, but that's what I have my camera on. I look like ass. You got one? Okay, good. Peterson has served in Vietnam and later wrote several books inspired by his military career and his career in government service. He also worked as a newspaper columnist and became known for his strong political views and his criticism of Durham Police and County District Attorney James Hardin Jr. Hardin was to play a much larger role in Peterson's future. Hey, Tammy. I just, right, Fatty, I just said Melanie probably didn't. She never does. And I feel so bad. But Brenda's not either. The only thing I can say to do is just unsubscribe for me, sub back up right away, and then hit the bell and hit all. Because I've had to do that to a few channels myself. I don't get notifications. Actually, there's quite a few I don't get notifications for. I watch a lot of YouTube at nighttime, like when I'm trying to go to sleep. It's just something that I listen to help me fall asleep because I can't, because I don't wear my hearing aids to bed. And if I don't have something in the background, even just a little bit, then that buzzing gets too loud and I can't sleep. Michael Peterson's future is what this book is about. There are those who would say that Peterson is an intelligent, patriotic, and loving man. Others would say he's a self-involved narcissist with a grandiose sense of self-importance. Perhaps he is both, perhaps neither. Sneezing is where I started with my second time having COVID. Just, oh, a queen, Nikki. Yeah, I don't know. It just started last night. I could went through a roll of toilet paper, but this does happen to me sometimes. I have a deviated septum, and I don't really know what to do about that, except for I take like a steroid to stop, so I can make it so I can breathe and not sneeze like this. But sometimes I can't help it. Alrighty, so this chapter is called As a Novelist. So, as an alumnus of Drake University, a veteran of the Vietnamese Marine Corps, and most importantly, a renowned novelist, Michael Peterson was among those people who always remained in the highlights. Before starting to write novels, he was an active and major contributor in the Marine Corps and served with his best for a significant time period. He fought many wars and battles against the enemies and learned a lot about the conflicts between the parties. Michael, the son of Eugene, received his bachelor's degree in political science from Duke University, but his thirst for education and dedication to learn about law took him to Chapel Hill, North Carolina's law school. After completing his education in 1968, Michael took his responsibilities in the U.S. Marine Corps. Truth be told, his career life had been full of controversies. He was particularly known for serving during the Vietnam War because he was a person who got permanently disabled due to a car accident in Japan. He fought from that level and regained his confidence to restart his life. With an incredible service, with incredible services and efforts, he was honorably given the rank of a captain. He also claimed a Bronze Star, Silver Star, and two Purple Hearts, but there was no documentation of his claims. After he left the Marine Corps, Michael found his interest in book writing and decided to share his experience in Vietnam. Michael started to list down points and ultimately wrote three books in which he discussed different wars that even he came across throughout his service. He became famous as a novelist due to three novels, namely A Time of War, The Enemy, and The Immortal Dragon, because they were the perfect representation of what he had gone through. These novels discussed everything about the Vietnamese conflict. All three novels were in handwritten form, which was later printed and published officially. You lost respect for him because, yeah. His experience I bit my tongue yesterday too as well. Oh my god, so that hurts like a bit, so I'm trying not to talk on that I don't know how I not talk on that side, but I'm trying not to, like, close my mouth all the way, if that makes sense. Fuck, hurts. Huge canker now. So now my mouth looks funny. I was talking to my kid this morning, I'm like, "I can't talk on the" he's like, "What is wrong with you?" Like, I hurt. He seemed to bend his facts to fit the case, I agree. Can't remember everything about that, but I felt the same way. Yeah. I remember somewhat that too. I haven't read over this case in forever, though. The experience as an editor of the Duke Chronicle, the student newspaper at Duke University, also helped a lot to make everything work just the right way. Michael was also the co-writer of the Marines of Love Company and the biographical Charlie Two Shoes with David Perlmutt, the journalist. He also worked for the Durham Herald Sun as a newspaper columnist. He used to highlight and criticize the Durham police for their inabilities, due to which his columns captured most of the attention, and he became popular over time. After combining the impact, outcomes, and experiences of his past life, Michael started a new chapter of his life and began to deliver his thoughts to others. Instead of returning home from the Vietnam War and trying to forget everything, he brought everything on the papers and wrote these detailed, interesting, and inspiring novels. Okay. After combining the impact, outcomes, and experiences of his past life, Michael started. I just read that. Oh my God. Sorry. Instead of returning home from the Vietnam War and trying to forget everything, he brought everything on the papers and wrote these detailed, interesting, and inspiring novels. One was called Immortal Dragon. Finalized and published in 1983, Immortal Dragon is the beginning of Michael's services in the Marine Corps during the Vietnam War. The novel is the perfect representation of what had actually happened during the war. It focuses on the 19th century events when Andre Lefebvre came from France to Vietnam in disguise and was caught up in deadly intrigues. He struggled for power and made all efforts to regain his status. Hey, Dead Legato. That son of a bitch is roaming free in your state. The second one was called The Time of War. Published in 1990, this novel is the continuation to his experience in Vietnam. The novelist captures the essence of time. Michael Peterson has written this astounding and richly textured novel with incredible creativity and knowledge. He discusses the classical story of Vietnam that is blood chilling, brilliant, compelling, and sweeping. I don't like singing his praises. Stay away from citric fruits, sour candies, and other foods that'll hurt and make it worse. Also, watch how much you eat. I get canker sores from that stuff. I eat too much. I was eating cinnamon hearts last night, and I don't know, I bit my fucking tongue. It hurts so bad. And in my sleeps, I don't know, if I get mad in my sleep, sometimes I'll like, I don't even know how I do it. Think, I don't know, I get mad and then I just grip my teeth, but when I grip my teeth, I'm slamming down on my tongue instead of my teeth, if that makes sense. That hurts bad. I've done it numerous times. I always do it. All right, number 3 is called A Bitter Peace. The sequel of Michael Peterson's war classic about Vietnam revolves around the presidential thoughts over Bradley Marshall's mission for regaining peace with honor in the country. But unlikely things did not turn out in the way they are expected, and his efforts turned into failure that would haunt him for years. This novel is full of unremitting suspense and wrenching insight over how a man seeks to achieve his goals and deals with personal redemption. So I'm not the only one then. Yeah, Brenda, you do it too. I can't help it. She makes me so angry, and the stuff that I found today, oh my God, like what she's trying to do for Mary's retreat, get everything canceled. Like people are reporting this now as being fraudulent. Right, Tammy? I totally agree. What's a CR splint? Just for you to wait, I do have a mouth guard though, but if I were trying to talk like that, it'd be hilarious. Okay, so he's got another book, Charlie Two Shoes and the Marines of Love Company. Michael co-worked on this novel with David Perlmutt and brought his masterpiece to limelight in 1998. This novel is about an 11-year-old Chinese boy named Su Chi. I don't know how to pronounce their names. So odd. Charlie C? Sue? I don't know. We'll just go with 11-year-old Chinese boy named Charlie. That's his American name is Charlie. Okay. He was approached by a company of US Marines, which was transferred to China in 1945, right after World War II ends. He was intended to protect the men of Love Company from First Division in return for clothing and food. The Marine Division also took the responsibility of his education. But as the communists took charge of China in 1949, Charlie was left alone as the Love Company had to leave the country. Charlie had to suffer and struggle to make both ends meet in China. Like a PO. Charlie was left alone as the Love Company had to leave. Okay, so Charlie had to suffer and struggle to make both ends meet in China. He's 11 years old. Jesus. Well, looking at the facts, it's quite evident to say that Michael's popularity as a novelist is still unclear due to his conviction in 2001 for the murder of his second wife, Kathleen Peterson. However, his efforts for Charlie Two Shoes explain the extent of his skills on their own. The way he converted this real life story into a thrilling and exciting masterpiece is quite remarkable. Even the collection of 3 books on the Vietnam War is something that readers could not forget and would love to read again and again. Idaho, because I'm. Oh yeah, stabbing the Dakota ring. And Tim says Jackie at my taxi on the way. Oh my god. All right, now we're on the relationship with Patricia. So, the relationship of a husband with his wife is one of the most beautiful and trusted realities that no one could deny. Being a supporting wife of a hardworking husband is what makes the bonding of Michael Peterson and Patricia Sue Peterson stronger. As the famous quote says, a man's success is measured by what his wife and children say about him. Money and accomplishments mean nothing if you let your home fail. Always up for food? Where did food come in? Oh, never mind. Great Dane mom's posting about chicken. I'm going to post my chicken and dump. Oh, yes, please. Send it to me in my Discord. Or Patty will share it to me. Okay, so the same goes for Michael Peterson and his family, where his first wife used to support him at every stage of his life. Even his children have been quite supportive and cooperative. Patricia Peterson was among those women who were always present with their husband. Whether it was about helping him to write novels or increasing morale to fight against the life problems, Patricia had been a great support to Michael Peterson. After the marriage in 1965, the couple was living a beautiful life and received the world's greatest blessings in the form of Todd and Clayton. The family was having a great time together until 1987 when the couple divorced. I'd love to make some. After the separation, Michael was performing his responsibilities as the guardian of Martha and Margaret, daughters of his neighbors in Germany, George and Elizabeth Ratcliffe, while Todd and Clayton were living with Patricia. After almost 10 years in 1997, Michael Pearson married Kathleen and began living in Cedar Street home in Norwalk, California, USA. Kathleen had Kathleen also had a daughter named Caitlin. After some time, they were joined by Todd and Clayton, and the extended family started with new aspirations and intentions to live their lives. Oh, I don't care. You can post my ID. I've doxed myself many times. I could care less. Yeah, what is mine? Teresa usually knows. I think it's mm, I'm probably wrong. I think that's my Discord name. And I'll have to see. Patty, can you check? I think that's mine. Oh my god. I have Nikki Teresa. Delete her down. My bad. Duh. I'm pretty sure that's right for you too, Patty. Hold on, I'll look. That's not you. This is you. You are that one's yours. It's okay. I did a dumb today too. So I just did it. All right. Your number is 3993. Really? Okay, maybe I'm the one with not. I don't know what I'm doing. Deb, I just see your name as Patty 1958. Yeah, that's just your name now, right? Hold on. Yeah, I'm wrong. Okay, so that it's Patty 1958. That's her name, and her she's right. I'm wrong, and it's 3993. No, I'm wrong. You're right. I can definitely figure it out. So it's and the hashtag is T993. There we go. Ooh, burgers and fries. Alrighty, so yeah, Patricia had a soft spot for Michael, due to which she and her sons have been a huge support for Michael when he was convicted of murdering his second wife, Kathleen. Yeah, it confuses me too. I don't know why, but my blood pressure is going up. Oof. She even took part in the hearing and had a clear stance that Michael couldn't do anything like that. Wow, so his ex-wife didn't believe it either. After living so many years with him, she was quite certain he was innocent and would say that she had believed in him and would until her last breath. I'm screaming. Is it better to go live or do videos? Well, I don't know. I do both. I have a live set up for every day this week. I like interacting with the audience, Brenda. That's why I like doing lives. And the videos, I try not to make them so long. So I do like to do videos if I just don't feel like going live and I'm still kind of researching and I don't know, something that I think like, okay, so for instance, I did the Sylvia Likens murder, and that um, I didn't want to go live about because my blood pressure was high, and I knew that I just knew I couldn't handle too much of it. I wanted been wanting to do it for a long time, but I wanted to do it on my own terms because I knew if I went live, there'd be people who would be heartbroken or they would be having questions, and I just don't think I could deal with it. I just wanted to do it on my own. You like lives? Yeah, a lot of people do. So, I don't know, I guess it depends on you. I if you like I know you and Nini haven't went live yet. So I'm thinking if whenever you guys feel ready, I'll have you up. You don't have to show your face or anything. I'm not tonight, that's because I look a mess. But your first time, I'm willing to help you. I can even go on yours with you. Yeah, it was brutal. It was I knew I couldn't stay that long. You know what I mean? Like I can only handle so much. Yeah, that's yeah, it's called a premiere. I haven't done that yet actually. Maybe that's what I should have did with the Sylvia case. I keep forgetting that you can do that. So after being separated from Patricia in 1987, Michael began to live alone and had focused on his career more than before. He became quite serious about what he was doing. He dedicated many years to himself and tried to explore new opportunities in order to pursue his career accordingly. After living alone for a few years, he met Kathleen Hunt Atwater, who was a widow and a mother of a girl named Caitlin Atwater. Oh, you're welcome. They became really good friends and showed complete interest in each other. So I'll help you if you need, like, whenever you need it, Brenda. They became really good friends and showed complete interest in each other. Kathleen was born on February 21st, 1953, in Greensboro, North Carolina. Kathleen was quite a dedicated and enthusiastic individual, but her dreams and initially decided to complete her studies in engineering, while she also showed incredible leadership qualities. Since Michael was himself a successful and career oriented person, he was inspired by Kathleen's professional journey from her school to college. He used to appreciate her for being an active contributor at school, where she performed her responsibilities as a president of the debating club, along with fulfilling her duties as an editor for the Generation School magazine. Yeah, she'd be great at it, Patty. It is scary though to do it the first time. It took me a long time to not be scared. Even now to this day, I still get butterflies. It's like, oh, do I want to go? Do I want to do this tonight? Maybe I'll just cancel and make a video. I'm always saying that in my head before I go live. Michael and Kathleen were quite identical with respect to their dedication towards making their career successful and brighter. Kathleen received many leadership awards, while Michael was a renowned fiction novelist. Yeah, I totally get it, Brenda. It is scary. I seem relaxed. Yeah. Like I'm fine now. But in the beginning, I'm always like, oh. They were married in 1997 and moved in at 1810 Cedar Street, a suburb of Durham in North Carolina. The 48-year-old woman was living her life to the fullest and was working a perfect job at Nortel as a business executive, while her personal life was also doing great. However, for her, the real accomplishment was her family, which she created and raised with a lot of love and affection. Kathleen always had complete support from her love and best friend, Michael, along with their children, Caitlin, Todd, Clayton, Margaret, and Martha. Even Kathleen's mother in Florida, Veronica Hunt, sister living in Virginia, Lori Campbell and Candace Impernini, and brother in Tennessee, Stephen Hunt, also there to help and support her. The Petersons were living in an above average life. Their 11,000 square foot mansion is a masterpiece of Chinese trinkets and artwork, particularly their huge living room that shows off their style sense and knowledge about how to incorporate antique items into their home. Bright sunlight streams into the rooms from amazingly installed bay windows that is reflected by glass covered photographs of Kathleen and Michael's wedding. Everything in their three-story mansion seems to be in complete harmony with the surroundings. Their life was going so simple and enjoyable with their five children that they never thought of becoming the subject of one of the most mysterious and baffling true crime stories, featured as the staircase murders. During the early hours of December 9th, 2001, Kathleen Peterson was found dead on the blood-stained staircase of their mansion. Trigger warning. The evidence on the hardwood floorboards and salmon-colored walls explained the entire story of how badly she had fallen. The amount of blood on the staircase seemed to be quite inconsistent, which was giving a different impression from what had been told to the police initially. Even the actual and confirmed time of death was different from what Michael told the 911 operator. The investigators also uncovered extramarital dalliances and referred to the similarities between Kathleen's death and another stairway fall of their close friend's wife. These initial discoveries are pointing to Michael as a major suspect since there was so much deviation between the statements and the actual findings. Aphrodite Jones, oh, I love Aphrodite Jones. She's a good author. Wrote a book on Michael's role as the husband titled A Perfect Husband, in which Michael talked about a case that was similar to what happened to Kathleen that night. In that case, the battle led to some legal allegations that turned out to be one of the longest proceedings in Tennessee history. The same excerpts were found in the Kathleen Peterson death case when some strong evidence pointed to Michael for manipulating information. His call to 911 was suspicious as if he were trying to cover his role in her death. However, there was another perception that he was shocked and scared after seeing his wife that way, and therefore, he said whatever came in his mind first. No, I don't believe either one was an accident. There's two of them. That's insane. Two accidents, two women falling downstairs and dying. No fucking way. No way. I should actually look for the 911 call. We should listen to it. And Aphrodite Jones, her show is pretty good. I haven't seen her show in so long though, but um she's had, I think she went back and interviewed him while he was in prison, something like that. So we could watch that as well at the end of the book. So it was 2:40 a.m. on December 9th, 20 bleh, excuse me. It was 2:40 a.m. on December 9th, 2001, when a frantic and shocked man dialed 911 and asked for help in an emergency. Well, considering it's 2:40 a.m. and he's calling then to say that his wife fell down the stairs, at that time, I would already be thinking that they're drinking. He got pissed off and pushed her. I mean, that would where my mind would really go. Yeah, sure, if you want, you can check YouTube. Yeah, right, Tammy. Sure, if you want to. I usually do all the research on my own, so I'm used to it and I love doing it. But if you want to, just for, yeah, go for it. Maybe you'll find something that I won't. Sure. He was breathing heavily while reporting the incident to Durham police in North Carolina that his wife fell down the stairs at their Cedar Street home. The caller reported that she had an accident and was still breathing. The conversation after reporting the crime is as follows. I don't know if I will or not. I did do 911 calls already on my channel. You just have to space them out and make them like into your own video, you know what I mean, Brenda? All right, so this is the 911 call. So the 911 operator says, "Okay, how many stairs did she fall down?" He says, "What? Huh? How many stairs?" He says, "Stairs." "How many stairs?" He says, "Ah, oh." 911 operator. Calm down, sir, calm down. According to the operator, the caller was really confused and kept saying that his wife was very unconscious. He was asking for the emergency crew to arrive with help immediately. He provided the address, but the operator was a bit unsure about how to calm him down. She was having difficulty in understanding what he was saying. He was breathing hard while his voice was so shrill that it was hard to understand a single word. She assured him that help would be there within a few minutes. He had to just calm down, answer the phone for some important questions. 911 operator says, "Calm down, sir. Calm down. How many stairs did she fall down?" "Oh, 15, 20. I don't know. Please get somebody here right away, please." "Sir, somebody else is dispatching the ambulance." "It's in Forest Hills, okay? Please, please, please." "Okay. Is she awake now? Hello, hello." Yeah, Tammy. That's not a fall. No way. There was no reply from the caller, but she could hear him yelling, "Oh God," in the background, and then no connection. The operator immediately dialed Engine 9, Medic 5 to alert emergency crew. She directly transferred information to the rescue team and sent them to Cedar Street home address. Oh my God, there's a picture in here of all the blood, but it's black and white, which is probably a good thing. That's a lot. As soon as she completed her radio call with the team, there was another emergency call ringing on 911. 911 operator, Durham 911, what is your emergency? Where are they? Why is she not breathing? Please, please, would you hurry up? The caller was able to hear a static voice from the background as if someone was talking with the radio operators and yelling code 5. The caller was getting frantic with every passing second, but there was no reply to the operator's words. Sir, hello, hello. Oh, thank you, Great Dane. 8 minutes later, the rescue team was able to find the place on Cedar Street because they took a wrong turn in the wooded neighborhood. All the lights in the house were on at that time, and the paramedics immediately rushed into the home and found the victim on the stairs. She had no pulse. Officers Figueroa and McDowell from Durham Police Department soon arrived at the scene and began their investigation. Police then went ahead and attempted to identify the caller, but he was so shocked and hysterical that he wasn't able to control himself from crying. Yeah, I fucking bet. Here's the scene. It's not as bad as you would think. Like, it's still, I mean, shit, never mind. I'll post it in the community tab. According to Officer Figueroa, as he arrived at the Cedar Street home, it was 2:50 a.m., and everything seemed to be quite mysterious and troublesome. The victim, Kathleen Peterson, was lying at the bottom of the stairs in a pool of blood with her head against the stairwell. There were also male athletic shoes beside her with a pair of flip-flop sandals and white socks. What caught the officer's attention was the roll of paper towels soaked in blood. At 3:07 a.m., Figueroa was joined by Dan George, Durham investigator, along with other patrol cars and fire trucks, which were sent to inspect the back entryway to the residence. George initially walked through the scene and instructed Figueroa to secure the residence before moving on with his investigation. Since the mansion was quite huge, they asked for more backup in order to cover the entire space within a short time period. Makes you wonder if he was even in the same area when he was calling. That's actually a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. On his initial analysis, he reported that there was blood everywhere, especially on the walls and several steps leading to the stairway. How the hell does that happen? She fell down, not up. Both officers waited until the crime investigative department reached the place. As soon as he met the investigation team, George mentioned that there was something wrong with the scene. Following his lead, the investigation team began following the evidence and headed to the kitchen door where Michael Peterson was standing, dressed in a t-shirt and shorts. He was also covered in blood. So that's what I mean. He's in t-shirt and shorts. So what? Did he change or were they up all night partying or something? Oh, I bet, Deb. There was way too much blood. Way too much to suggest that she just fell down the stairs. Even in this black and white photo, you can see it. I'll post it to my community tab for you guys so you can see it. It's not as bad as the colored one, but it's not nice. His son Todd was also present behind him as he was trying to console Michael. He was constantly mentioning to check Kathleen's body. Just a few minutes later, Michael rushed towards his wife, bent down, cried, and caressed her. Wow. His actions were so immediate that no officer had a chance to prevent him from touching her body and probably further contaminating the questionable crime scene. Yeah, he knew what he was doing. Exactly, Great Dane, yeah. After trying on their own with no results, they asked Todd to help his father move away from her body. But unfortunately, the damage was already done, and the evidence was not there in the actual form. Michael managed to transfer bloodstains on his body as well, thus making it more difficult for forensics. I bet you anything he did that on purpose because he wanted to make it difficult for forensics. Because he, in fact, well, obviously now we know, is the murderer. You know what I mean? I mean, he's not a stupid man. All the books and stuff that he read, read or wrote, sorry, and all the stuff that he's been involved in, and he's not a stupid man. Not that I know of, Great Dane. Not I don't know if they performed CP if he said he performed it, doesn't look like it. Exactly, falling down the stairs give you head and internal wounds, not bloody outer wounds. Yeah, don't forget the hashtag Patty. I know I learned that the hard way. Not really hard way, it was just annoying. Only such actions made him suspicious, but Dan George also noticed a civilian, a young lady named Christina Tomasetti, the daughter of Michael's best friend. George questioned her presence in the kitchen. Christina stated that she was with Todd at a party and had just arrived when the fire trucks reached the crime scene. As soon as the officers followed the instructions to seal that scene, two more people, Ben Maynard and Heather Whitson, approached out of nowhere. They had been called by Todd for help because they were in the neighborhood. Todd specifically told Ben to bring Heather because she was a medical student at Duke University and knew how to help his father to come out of shock. It knocked you out? Holy. As they arrived at the scene, Durham police were not likely to let him enter the home, but upon Todd's request, they eventually allowed them to enter. Todd took them around the staircase and entered into the kitchen through the fine dining room. All of them consoled Mr. Peterson and made all efforts to take him out of the trauma. I want to punch him in his face after reading this. You know what I mean? Because we know he did it. It's disgusting. But nothing was working as he couldn't bear the pain of such a big loss of his wife. He refused to accept any medical care and wanted to be left. Oh my god, there's the murder scene photos. Holy shite. Wow. I've seen these before, but it's been so long since I've re-entered this case. You know what I mean? It's so shocking still. No, it looks like a murder scene. That's not falling down the stairs. Like, and he wanted to be left alone. Michael kept mumbling that he couldn't live without his beloved wife. He recapped the entire day of December 9th, 2001. Oh wow. So there you go. There's Deb's explanation is actually makes sense. Michael and Kathleen were enjoying a few drinks as part of their celebration. I knew it. So I couldn't remember if they were drinking or not. Um, she was something about a hot tub and this and that. I like I said, I haven't read this not this book, but I haven't actually watched um the videos and stuff for the court case or anything like that in a long time. But yeah, you can tell that they were drinking because she fell at 3 o'clock in the morning. Why? 2:40 in the morning, she fell downstairs. Why is she falling down the stairs at that time? That to me automatically screams they were drinking. I don't know why. I just yeah, because no one's up at that time. And she's going pee. She's not going near the stairs. Okay, so Michael and Kathleen were enjoying a few drinks as part of their celebration. They were having a great time together. Michael then went towards the pool area and took the dogs to spend some time with them as well. Yeah, okay. He thought that Kathleen was upstairs going to bed, but never thought of seeing something like that. Considering his father's grief and sadness, Todd asked the uniformed upstairs if he could take a look at his stepmom's body a bit closer, they granted him permission to do so. As he knelt down, he touched her legs and found no signs of life. Then, with the help of a flashlight, everyone paid attention to Kathleen's injured head and found something wrong at the blood around her body and clothes. As well, there were bruises and a strange pained look on her face. You felt to bash my head on the brick wall, man. Holy shit, Great Dane. According to the witness, Fran Borden, as soon as he arrived at the 1810 Cedar Street home on December 9th, 2001, Sergeant Borden was instructed to investigate a woman's death who was reported to have fallen down the staircase. Upon his arrival, his attention was caught by the bloodstains on the kitchen cabinet and a drawer handle. As per his later statement to the jurors, that was the first of the three red flags. That's exactly what I think. Yeah. The second flag was the amount of blood present around and on the victim who was lying at the bottom of the staircase. There was a lot of blood. The third and the last red flag was the position of the victim's body, which seemed to be in a perfect alignment with respect to the spine and head, sorry. The reason behind his suspicion was that her position shouldn't be that way if she had fallen down from any amount of steps. During his interview, Borden said, I squatted in the stairwell and looked up the stairs, trying to visualize every possible scenario how this woman could have come down those stairs, landed in that position where she landed, and where did all that blood come from? After listening to his words, the prosecution witness immediately responded by saying that that's not all he had mentioned. But defense lawyers claimed there were more facts Borden didn't talk about. They brought attention to the reality that the blood could have been transferred by Todd when he received permission from the investigating officers to sit near the dead body of his stepmom. Borden then immediately responded, that information could have been helpful. I did not have it. The defense lawyer also questioned the credibility of the only witness, Borden, who already knew that Mr. Peterson used to criticize Durham police for being incompetent and unprofessional. During Peterson's time period as the columnist from 1998 to 1999, he wrote many newspaper columns sarcastically, claiming that local criminals were actually smarter and more efficient than the police because they didn't know how to do their work. Wow. There are numerous hidden facts and details involved in this murder that might contribute to making a certain decision. Michael was arrested when suspicion was supported by some strong evidence, and his innocence was questioned in many forms. The case was, therefore, brought in front of a local court for trial. You've shrunk to five. I'm 5'3". Actually, I think I'm more closer to 5'2". Fun sized. So this one's titled Jury Selection and Openings. Really? Wow. Well, I guess he'd be allowed to, one of them would be allowed to talk. Any of them can talk about it, right? Because it's over with. Yeah. Wow. That's sad. I spell crap wrong all the time, every day, all day. Cases of murder that go through a long trial are hardly uncomplicated. The Peterson case, however, has so many contending issues that his single count murder case trial could run up to 3 months and even more. 7 weeks plus a rigorous selection process for the 12 members of the jury and additional four alternates were being carried out. The purpose would be to ascertain if the prosecuting team possessed enough testimony and proof to charge Mr. Peterson of murder, or to figure out the contradictory testimony given by the experts who would also be speaking in the course of the coming weeks on whether Kathleen Peterson's demise a year and 6 months ago was premeditated or accidental. Don't pin what? Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, no, I'm not putting anything up. Oh, I'm just gonna keep it as it is. With a nice smiling woman on there who should be here today. The case had made headlines so many times in North Carolina, right from the time the prosecuting attorneys stated they believed Michael Peterson, who had now turned 59, had murdered his wife, Kathleen. Oh, sorry. And some police officials and the emergency medical team who made their way to the Petersons' home that night were of an opinion that Kathleen Peterson tripped from the steps on the staircase and fractured her head when it hit the wall. But again, there was blood all over the stairway area, the walls, the steps of the staircase, and also all around Michael's clothes, which seemed to suggest otherwise to the officers from the Durham unit. Oh, yeah, I get it. Unlin her comment Nikki's see guys. I unpinned it. I get it. Yeah, I understand what you mean. Okay. The suspicion of the detectives was further aroused after an autopsy was carried out. The examiners found deep cuts and five outstanding lesions, which they reasoned caused her to bleed to death. Oh, you too, Tammy? Holy shit. Todd Peterson, Michael's son from the first marriage, said, "It is simply unimaginable. My father and Kathleen had a very amicable and peaceful life together. They never had any major argument." In the courtroom, when the hearing commenced, Todd would be seated right behind his father and the defense counsel, David Rudolph and Thomas Mayer. And with Todd would be his sisters, Martha and Margaret Ratliff. Also present was Caitlin Atwater, Kathleen's daughter from a previous marriage, who was accusing Michael Peterson and had severed her relationship with Michael's sons and the Ratliff sisters. The incident occurred at a time when only Kathleen and Michael were in the mansion, the prosecuting counsel would argue. Her injuries alone didn't seem to be inflicted from an accidental fall down the stairway, as claimed by the defense team. Furthermore, if the judge obliged them during objections, they would probably hold on to the similar occurrence with Elizabeth Ratcliffe back in 1985. Boom. Where Peterson was the last person seen leaving the house by a neighbor. According to Peterson, as a spoken as spoken through his lawyers, he and Kathleen had drinks outside their home by the swimming pool on Saturday night, which she headed inside alone, so she must have either fainted or tripped on the stairs as the stairway was dimly lit, which led to her hitting her head and ultimately bleeding to death. Bull effing shit. Right, Delia. That's some bullshit right there. Yeah, my cat don't care. Yeah, it's bull crap. This book's not very long, so we can probably get through it if I wanted to read it even at night, just every day. I might even have this done in like a week. Less than. Where did I leave off? David Rudolph, reputed to be among the renowned lawyers in North Carolina, would draw attention to the fact that there was no murder weapon, eyewitness, or striking motive. He would be employing the services of experts and disputing the forensic analysis presented by the opposing side witnesses, which would include Dr. Henry Lee, which one of you guys can't stand, and I don't blame you, a forensic scientist of repute. David would also challenge that there were no regular traces of blood patterns around the staircase, as expected when a person is continuously hit with a blunt object. Yeah, that's a good point, Tammy. Who needs a lit stairway in your own home? Absolutely. Hardin said to the members of the jury on commencement of the long awaited trial, the deceased was most likely hit with a blow poke, which practically disappeared into thin air as it cannot be traced. What is a blow poke? Um, okay. I don't know. Sentencing Peterson to life imprisonment would require Hardin to prove, firstly, that Kathleen's life was indeed ended intentionally, sorry, and secondly, that the heinous crime was committed by her husband, Michael. David Rudolph stated that the prosecution team was narrow minded in choosing to label Michael a suspect. Subsequent to deterring him from attending his wife's wake while they carried out a search at his home, the prosecution team also hurriedly assembled a grand jury before Christmas in 2001. In a couple of hours, they had the warrant they required to put Peterson behind bars all through the holidays. Actually, I fall upstairs too. I don't fall down, I fall up. Pokes the burning. Ah, gotcha. Thank you. I kind of figured that, but I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to sound stupid, but I was pretty much thinking the same thing. Okay. Yeah, something to do with fireplace. Okay. The investigation proceeded better only after the arraignment, David said. He made note of the fact that the opposing team made no attempt to collect Michael's financial reports until May 5th, following the start of the selection of members of the jury. The prosecuting attorneys were of the opinion that Michael Peterson could have wanted his wife dead for monetary reasons. Hello, Sweet Rockin' Robin. It's a cute name. You've been begging someone to do this piece forever? Yeah, it's a good one to revisit for sure. Rudolph pointed out that the records would reveal that the net worth of the Petersons was almost 2 million, and that Michael was required to split a life insurance policy of 1.4 million with the stepdaughter. They weren't moved by money. They enjoyed it, but it wasn't all that for them, said Rudolph. Oh, you changed your name to oh, it's cute. I haven't seen you in forever. How you doing, girl? Rudolph also accused the police officials of wanting to settle a score with Peterson simply because he had penned a number of articles in several newspapers condemning the police. In one of them, Peterson said that the police department of Durham was the most terrible in unraveling crimes in North Carolina. In another one, he wrote, as if he saw the future, the probability of capturing a criminal is just a little bit higher than being struck by lightning. While members of the jury were being selected, some panelists said they knew at the report of the death of Elizabeth Ratliff, who was 43 years old and a school teacher. She was a close friend of Michael Peterson and Patricia, his first wife, while they all resided in Germany. And holy effing crap, Elizabeth Ratliff and Kathleen Peterson look identical. I'm not even kidding. I thought it was the same person until I read, like, right on the side that that was Kathleen. So Elizabeth Ratliff, stair accident, died 1985. Kathleen Peterson, stair accident, died 2001. Wow. Yeah, it is. It's interesting, that's for sure. Yeah. So I'll put these. I'm gonna put these up, the photos and stuff too. I just want to. I just wanted to leave Kathleen's pretty face up here where she's happy. So I'll put these up on my community tab when I'm done reading. Yeah, exactly. That is weird because they were, and then he took custody of their children because first her husband died, then Elizabeth apparently died by falling downstairs, but yet Michael Peterson was the last one to see her, and it was in Germany. Yeah, and then he gets custody of her kids. What about her family, the grandparents? Like he's a neighbor. That's insane to me. The prosecution's case, wet or dry, blood state is questionable. During the murder case of Kathleen Peterson, a medical assistant revealed he had never seen so much blood in his life until he saw Kathleen's body. Michael Peterson's defense counsel strove to overturn any harm the opposing team first witness might have caused to their case. James Rose, the medical assistant, testified on how he and his partner on duty rushed down to the crime scene when they were called on December 9, 2001 at 3 a.m. The caller was Michael, who reported that his wife had tripped on the stairs and had severe injuries. Rose, one of the EMT paramedics, addressed the jury saying, it's quite weird for us to find so much blood from a fall. During a cross examination, Thomas Mayer, one of the defense lawyers, proceeded to explain to the jurors that Rose was inexperienced with severe fall situations, saying he had only been called for one which didn't involve a tipsy victim. The defense team pitched their tent on the premise. that Kathleen tripped on the steps on the staircase because, firstly, it was dimly lit, and two, that she had drunk champagne and wine. The opposing counsel argued that the fall couldn't have led to so much bleeding and severe lesions on her head, therefore she must have been hit severely and repeatedly on her head with an object. Following an intense hearing in the absence of the jury, Judge Orlando Hudson asked that the jury disregard the medical assistant's testimony, saying the victim was already dead about 30 minutes prior to the arrival of the ambulance. David Rudolph, with the defense, questioned Rose's experience with forensic pathology, saying its probable guess of how long Kathleen had been dead wasn't valid, as it could still occur medically even if the victim were alive. James Rose testified further, saying Michael was pretty discomposed when they arrived and couldn't answer simple questions such as the victim's birth date. The entrance door was ajar as the ambulance arrived at 2:48 a.m., and he noticed two drops of blood just before the entrance door. Well, that's a little suspicious. What the hell is he doing outside? Michael said he had gone to switch off the lights by the oh, bullshit. Only to return indoors and find Kathleen at the base of the stairs. That doesn't even make sense. This countered Pearson's earlier statement of saying he was back outside until 30 to 45 minutes after his wife went inside. Exactly. Rose stated during cross examination that his first statement to the police didn't include drying of blood or Peterson switching off the lights by the pool. He did, however, mention both in his second statement to the police 3 days after death. No, he didn't think about it. And that's another good question too. If she was that tipsy, why didn't he help her upstairs to bed? Another medical assistant, Ron Page, said it was obvious Kathleen was dead when he looked closely at the stairway area. Her eyes were wide open and blood was on her head, on the wall, floor, and even on Michael. Michael stood above Kathleen's body crying. Seemed he like he wanted to help her. I couldn't say for sure, but he had blood all over him, which seemed to be dried up. When questioned by the defense team, Page agreed he didn't touch Michael to ascertain whether the blood was dried or still wet, and he didn't mention about the blood seeming dry in a statement to the police on the night of the incident. Exactly, Patty. Okay, it says Michael's benefits from his wife's death. On July 3rd, 20, sorry, keep saying that because we're in now 2020, whatever, 2023, but that's not it. On July 3rd, 2003, almost 6 months after Kathleen's death, Michael Peterson has claimed her 401k. Almost 6 months after her death, Michael Peterson has claimed her 401k pension and savings plan of up to 343, holy shit, 347,000, the jury was told. Exactly, Great Dane. They are horrible. These are in black and white, Melissa, and yeah, they're still really bad to look at. Coming in on day number 3 of Peterson's case, the evidence was a move by opposing team to prove that Peterson had something to gain monetarily from his wife's demise. Jim Hardin Jr., Durham's DA, stated to the jury in his opening remarks that Michael was entitled to part of Kathleen's life insurance fund of 1.4 million if he's able to avoid life imprisonment and can win any case leveled against him concerning that by Kathleen's first husband and her daughter. A staff member in the Human Resource Department at Kathleen's workplace, Kathleen Kaiser, testified that Peterson received $94,455 from Kathleen's pension plan on February 11, 2002. He also received $29,360 one week earlier from her 401k retirement plan. At the end of May that year, Peterson had garnered a total of $223,000 from 3 payments, all from Kathleen's deferred compensation plan. Sounds like he was kind of there for the money, eh? On counter-examination, defense counsel Thomas Mayer, using personnel records from Nortel Network, argued that Kathleen's worth more as a living being than she was if she was dead. If she were still alive, Kathleen's 145,000 per annum would have been ongoing. She would also still have her 401k account and pension plans increasing, not forgetting ongoing receipt of stock options. He also pointed out that Peterson and his children had already lost the health insurance benefits attached to Kathleen's job. Going by the current stock prices at that time, Mayer pointed out that Kathleen could earn a total of 677,000 in 2001 if she sold the 22,600 units of stock, which she had since 1994. At the close of court prior to a weekend holiday, David Rudolph explained to CourtTV.com that there was nothing wrong with Peterson seeking Kathleen's benefits in January 2002. He posted an $850,000 bond for his bail consequent to his indictment that same month. On July 8, 2003, Jason Crank, a firefighter in Durham, told the jury he noticed what was probably dried blood right at the entrance door of Peterson's home. Being the fourth to testify of such, dried blood became a major issue. The opposing team's conviction is that Peterson killed his wife and then called 911 to say his wife had tripped on the staircase. That would make sense if they argued about it, yeah. The jury witnessed testimony for the prosecuting team from Raymond Young, who said the Petersons were spending about $100,000 in excess of their income 3 years consecutively prior to the passing of Kathleen at the age of 48. Bringing forth a probable pecuniary motive very early in the trial, the prosecutors seemed to be withholding their physical evidence. Forensic handlers would be testifying that Kathleen's head wounds and blood spatter can be more likened to that of a beating rather than to a fall. A former co-employee of Kathleen at Nortel also testified, saying that the deceased sounded normal when they spoke on the phone, just a few hours before the incident. Well, of course, she's not going to know that her husband's going to try and kill her. Helen Prislinger, a witness from Ontario, Canada, took the stand on the summons of the prosecutors and said she and Kathleen spoke earlier about Nortel's current issues, and nothing seemed odd about her household that particular night. Prosecuting team emphasized over the blood spatter evidence. He couldn't get a book. Wow. July 21st, 2003. Though very stressful, the evidence that heralded the fourth week of Pearson's trial was necessary for the prosecuting team to set things up for the pathologist and blood spatter expert, both of whom would be very crucial in their case against Peterson. Dan George, a crime scene technician with the police, was on the stand for the second time, spotting evidence materials he garnered along with his colleagues on the night and in the next days after the incident. George, one of the most important witnesses in the trial, told the jury he collected items such as clothes, watches, hair, blood, computers, wine glasses, shoes, cups, etc. from the Petersons. The need to identify the items was critical because subsequent witnesses would need it to deduce what actually happened on the dimly lit stairway that night. George, during interrogation, stated he didn't hold on to the three bloody paper towels recovered from underneath the head of the victim. Neither did he withhold a blood-stained telephone. It wasn't long after Peterson's defense team commenced the cross-examination of George that the court had to take a recess, but it was certain the defense team would be harnessing the testimony to their advantage. They would base it on the shortcomings of the police, which would render arguable the blood spatter analysis. David Rudolph took a lot of time in examining George's hypothesis that Michael took a knife from the kitchen and sat beside Kathleen's dead body before the emergency team arrived. On July 22nd, 2003, apart from not collecting the household items with bloodstains, George also how do you not do that? What? I wanna watch the documentary. Yeah, I think well, I not think, I know I already have, I just haven't seen it in such a long time. So apart from not collecting the household items with bloodstains, George also did not take a photo of the bloody footprints lined up in the Petersons' kitchen, which were only obvious on the application of luminol, and the findings weren't penned in this first report. Wow, I mean, yeah, it's 2003. You should have everything together by then. You should know what the hell you're doing. Like, really? This case sounds really fucked up. Don't you think that was a vital finding to note if you had visualized it? Rudolph asked. I agree, sir, it was, but three other police officers witnessed it. That doesn't matter though. You need the actual evidence. Rudolph went further to question George's competence. When he pointed to an inconsistency in his earlier statement, George had been asked during a hearing before the trial began in March why he avoided taking photos of the chemical reaction, and he had replied, I'm unable to answer that. The prosecuting team had implied directly that Peterson paced around their kitchen with his bare feet but cleaned up all the signs before proceeding to dial 911 to say his spouse had tripped on the flight of stairs. I definitely could believe George, during interrogation, accepted that Michael paced the house with bare feet while the officers were obtaining all the evidence they could obtain within the early hours of December 9th, 2001. The blood spatter expert was now ready to be questioned by the defense. Peterson's counsel were very ready to discredit his results and whatever they wanted to deduce from it. The opposing team were banking on the conclusions from the blood spatter expert to drive home their stand that Peterson beat his wife to death but made it seem like she fell. The defense, on the other hand, were striving to make the jury see the need to discredit the police's evidence and any conclusion to the blood expert would arrive at as the procedures were flawed. While discussing the photos from the crime scene, David mentioned that there is a void area in the bloodstain, which contains an oval shaped space having a different liquid substance. Evidence technician Eric Campen maintained that one of the officers applied the chemical luminol on the wall bounding the stairway as there was no apparent need because blood was completely visible on the walls. You were completely obsessed with it? Yeah. There's some cases that just get you know what I mean? Gabriel Hernandez. It was on Netflix. That one I watched 100 million times. I actually was talking to somebody on YouTube. They have a channel and she's getting her ass kicked. His mother's getting her ass kicked on a daily basis. So I was pretty happy with that. That's Gabriel's Justice. What happened to that little boy? Oh my God. That was probably one of the most horrendous cases I think I've ever really looked into. That and Sylvia Likens. Does that show how luminol would look when it gets dry after application? Asked Rudolph, mentioning the strips on the wall. Yes, it does to an extent. I can't tell what brought about those marks, but we didn't apply luminol on the walls. We never did, said Campen. Was it Michael trying to clean it before dialing 911 and then stopped midway? Yeah, that pissed me right the hell off, Tammy. The Casey Anthony one, I can't even watch it because no, I can't. I know if I do, it's gonna be like it's gonna make me go crazy. I'm disgusted with it. Yeah, can't believe they make him look like a fucking victim. No, I mentioned Gabriel Hernandez, Deb, for myself. I was just stating that that was my case. That was one of my not my case, but one of the ones that really got to me, that and the Sylvia Likens case. Jim Hardin Jr., one of the prosecuting attorneys, surprisingly didn't bother to restore their witness's statement on redirect examination. Instead, he allowed Campen to get off the stand, ignoring the points the defense raised during the thorough questioning. You couldn't, or you wouldn't watch it, pissed you off too much? Yeah. In the absence of the jurors, David brought up an issue concerning a diagram that Campen had created using the computer, but deleted it later on, which had a set of possible footprints. The court had ordered that Campen provide the diagram, but it showed shoe prints and not footprints, and therefore was regarded as misleading. Judge Hudson reserved the decision to let the jury decide that the shortfall evidence weakened the prosecuting team's case and the defense team's felicity. Cause of death explained by medical examiner. On August 6, 2003, the medical examiner, Dr. Kenneth Snell, who once concluded that Kathleen died from tripping on the steps, testified that he now had a different thought after he observed her wounds closely at the morgue. I've seen some of that too, Patty, and then I got off it, and then I seen a couple other channels that were covering it, and I watched bits and pieces, and then I couldn't.
The milk spilled all over her because it was stuck in the freaking container.
Oh,
This is embarrassing.
how much? Like a lot?
Yeah. He's trying to take the thing out, but there was like some sort of liquid inside it that was making it stick. I'm talking out exploded everywhere.
Maybe there's a hole in it then or something.
So, but like the more you squeeze it, the top kind of the mouth and it goes up and when
So, like, how much we talking?
maybe like this one.
Okay. I thought you meant like almost the whole thing. Sorry, my son spilt some milk. Shit.
Got my eye.
You got in your eye. Eh. All right, so Dr. Snell, being a vital witness for the prosecutors, addressed the jury saying that the 7 lacerations he observed, as other forensic professionals conducted an autopsy on the victim's body, led him to believe that this was a case of a deadly beating and not an accident. Wow, Brenda. Yeah, ludicrous, right? Though the police didn't find a likely murder weapon, Kathleen's death was believed to be intentional because of the amount and dispersion of the blood. Though a blood spatter professional would be testifying that the blood stains denoted the use of a tool, Dr. Snell said he was told on the morning after the incident by an evidence technician with the police who had some expertise in blood splatter that Kathleen could have smashed her head on the steps of the staircase 2 or more times. Dr. Snell said he observed 2 separate lesions which appeared as a tear on the victim's skull. And as her hair was smeared with blood, he knew an autopsy was required, and he also asked the police to look for a crowbar or a blowpoke, believing only a tool or a weapon with that shape could have brought about such lacerations, which could even be more at the back of her head that he couldn't see at the time. And I thought everyone had to have an autopsy. Prosecutor Jim Hardin Jr. inquired why Snell now thinks it was intentional and not an accident. Dr. Snell replied that he initially made his conclusion outside of an autopsy. It's very common to alter the information in his field report as it was filed before the conduct of an autopsy, Snell said. William Haggard, a forensic meteorologist who gave the analysis of weather conditions on the night of the incident, also gave his testimony before the jury. The prosecutors disputed that Peterson was smoking outside the house alone for 30 to 45 minutes while Kathleen fell and bled to death. Bull fucking shit. Yeah, it doesn't even make sense. So this asshole's out now? Like a prison? Haggard recited the weather conditions for that night. It was about 53 degrees Fahrenheit in the early morning hours, and the permissible degree is about 70 degrees Fahrenheit for anyone to feel comfortable. Peterson was wearing a t-shirt and shorts while Kathleen was in a sweatsuit. The defense team practically made a mockery of Haggard's testimony. Haggard agreed he didn't know the basis of the tolerable degree, and he did inquire from anyone present in the house that night if they were comfortable with the temperature, saying that Haggard made his deduction from readings provided by an airport located 30 miles away from the Petersons' house. Thomas Mayer sought to discredit the witness's analysis. Is there now a weather station at the Petersons' house? Asked Maher. He's been out, eh? Yeah, I got a way to go with this one, yeah. Oh, she's getting her ass kicked, Tammy. Oh, yeah. She is hated. She's always got to be in segregation. So because everybody wants to kill her for what she did to Gabriel. Yeah. Can't remember the fucking channel though. If I do, it's a guy. I can't remember his name. I haven't seen it in forever. He lives in an apartment in Durham. Wow. Judge Hutchinson attended a hearing on whether to consider the emails and the images taken from Michael's laptop. Though the counsel had mentioned what the contents are, the court concluded that they were related to pornography. In his opening remarks on July 1st, 2003, Hardin told the jury that he had proof that Peterson's hard drive was formatted by someone after the death of the victim who had loaded it with some other files. He told Judge Hudson he would get 3 professionals to prove it, depending on the judge's address of the admissibility question. All right, this part, I'm gonna read this one last part, and then I'm gonna stop, and then we'll come back. What day is it today? Monday? Yeah, we'll come back Monday and read the rest of it, or I can read a little bit every night. It's not a very long book. Witness emphasized that blood marks are pointing to the accused. On August 14th, 2003, according to the testimony given by a blood spatter analyst, small specks of blood found on the wrong side of Peterson's shorts implied he must have been very close to the stairway when the incident occurred, either based on a fall as claimed or based on a beating. Later on, the jury would be listening to a testimony that was potentially detrimental to Peterson's case. The defense had propagated that 59-year-old Peterson was in the back of their house smoking when the incident happened to his spouse of 5 years. North Carolina State Bureau agent Peter Dwayne Deaver presented his conclusions to the judge in the absence of the jury so he could ascertain the soundness of the science. The judge later permitted the hearing of the testimony so the defense team could have a sneak peek into Dwayne Deaver's deductions. Deaver's conclusions included, he's 79 now. I hope not. I just, I'm sorry, if you take a life, your life should be gone, whether it be the death penalty or in prison. That just, I don't get it. All right, so his conclusions included Kathleen Peterson was attacked on the staircase by someone behind her, standing at the top of the stairs, who used a blunt tool. This finding was supported by the cast off marks presented on the wall at the top stairway area. Killers have groupies, though. Yeah, you're right. Look at Scott Peterson, the other half-wit. Um, there's so many of them. Just wait, Skeets has lots of surprises. I'm probably gonna get pissed. I did already before when I first like got into this case, but it's been so long. The deceased was struck repeatedly and her head hit the step several times, along with falling down. There's blood spatter cast away on the top stairway, but she fell down the stairs, right, guys? Yeah, okay. Michael Peterson must have been close to the blood of Kathleen in whatever position, with a heavy hit impacted his wife's head. This is due to the specks of blood on the back part of the wrong side of Peterson's shorts. A little force creates large drops, and big forces creates little specks, Dwayne analyzed. There is a telltale sign that someone left a blood trail in a failed attempt to remove the signs. Two marks of blood on the steps seem to have occurred by a blow poke. The police couldn't locate any poke, but believed it was removed from the property by Peterson or anyone helping him. It would be similar to, or the one Kathleen's sister gave her family as a gift 15 years ago. David Rudolph unsuccessfully argued over the credibility of findings and forced the jury not to consider the evidence after cross-examining Deaver's report by asking some important questions. Yeah, she fell several times. Where was the blow poke? Jury listened to the facts carefully. Yeah, they never found it. Eh? Yeah, that's true too. He could have went up the steps because it looks like he had hit her there first because the blood spatter pattern. On September 4th, 2003, the jury listened to the facts carefully. Candace Zamperini, Kathleen's sister, who claimed to be very good with dates, recalled clearly gifting Kathleen a blow poke set during Christmas in 1984. She also recalled seeing and using the tool to light the fire at the Peterson home the last time she traveled to North Carolina. It was on Thanksgiving Day in 1999, and it was just by the fireplace, she said on the witness stand. Jim Hardin, the DA, presented an identical blow poke early in that trial and introduced it as an illustrative evidence, asking the jurors to feel the tool. David Rudolph's objection of tool being passed to the jurors was disregarded. He said it's not been offered as real evidence. The district attorney, as he steered the case to an end, showed Candace's photos from 1996 and 1998, which showed the missing tool in the family photographs. Peterson was expressionless as Candace spoke about her walking up to the bloody stairs along with Michael and one of Kathleen's other sisters. After the police were done with their work at the scene, Candace testified, Michael said, I ascended the staircase, I guess to get towels. He looks back and then down and said, She fell all the way down to the staircase, all the way down the staircase. The prosecuting counsel didn't express the importance of that statement. They would probably see it as Michael trying to drive home the idea that Catherine's death was accidental. Yeah, that sounds right to me, actually, Tammy. Did the performance of prosecutors live up to their expectations? I don't know. Hey, Benita. You made a post on Twitter about the stuff that the medical committee is doing on me. I'll make sure I go look at it to stick. On September 6, 2003, were the prosecutors able to prove their case that Kathleen didn't fall but was beaten to death by her husband Michael? Jim Harden and Frida Black, sorry. The prosecutors have now rested their case, and observers are ruminating over all the evidence, trying to figure out if they can produce proof beyond a reasonable doubt. 10 weeks have now passed. 50 witnesses have been presented by the prosecution. There have been photographs, documents, diagrams, and other evidence in the hundreds. The defense team would be presenting witnesses who would express that Michael Peterson was crazy about Kathleen and that she was well treated and they never had a major fight that they knew of. The prosecutor's team had, however, discredited his portrayal when they presented the testimony of a male escort Michael had an online discussion with, where he tried to set up a meeting between them. The state also presented an exhibit email in which Michael or someone impersonating him discussed the topic of homosexuality. Judge Hudson's rulings, such as permitting the Ratliff case to be heard, is likely to help the defense's grounds for an appeal should Michael Peterson be convicted. Well, it's clear to me that he has murdered these two women. Like, seriously, there's no way in hell you lost two people that you were the last to see falling down the stairs. There's no way. All right, I'm gonna stop there. My canker hurts, and so does my throat a little bit. Ugh. So there's some photos I'm gonna post. This is bullshit what's happening to autistic. Like, seriously? If I could go through the computer, everybody that pissed me off would be slapped. I'm telling you. I just want to kind of see what you're talking about. Holy shit. You got doxxed. What the fuck? Wow. Oh my God. This is not okay. I don't. So you don't want me to say anything to stick up for you? Because I was planning on it. Alrighty, Tammy, you have a good night. Okay, never mind. Don't comment or react to the post. Trust me. Holy shit. This is insane. Oh my God. All right, I'm gonna shut up about it, but that's not okay, autistic. I'd be calling the police. I don't know if you've got a hold of the police, but you need to. This is that no. That's harassment, that's stalking, they're fucking nuts. I would be calling the police. Fuck that. That is not right. You don't do that to people. It's heartbreaking to think that she went to her grave knowing that the man who was supposed to love and protect her killed her. Exactly. You can't believe he did it twice though. For what? To keep those two girls? I mean, I still don't understand how he got custody of those girls. What about the rest of the family? So first the husband died, and then she died by apparently falling down the stairs, and he gets custody of those two little girls, which doesn't make any sense to me. Where's her family? They have family on both sides. Why didn't they go there? Why was he? pronounced as the caregiver now. I don't understand that. And then it just so happens that Kathleen fell down the stairs too. No, I have a feeling this book is going to really infuriate me. So you guys want me to read this every Monday or just do a little bit every night? That would make sense, Brenda. Yeah. I'm sorry, autistic. I agree. Why the hell would he get custody? He's not related. He's not family. That really bothers me. What if he was um like sick in the head, if you know what I mean? And that's why he wanted them? He didn't. At least I hope not. Um, you know what I mean? Like they don't know who this fucking guy is. But that was yeah, I keep forgetting it was in Germany, you're right. You guys want every meeting? Well, I got two people saying they want every every night. I can do it because it's not like I have anything else to do and I like hanging out with you guys. Maybe that's all they had. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're right, but I don't want it to be right. It's the military, and he was the sweet talker, and I'm gonna yeah. You guys got very good valid points, and probably everything, every single one of you guys just said is true. The grandparents may have been to the in the U.S. Well, wouldn't okay if they were in the U.S., wouldn't it be able to go? Well, no, I guess you'd have to have a. I don't know. Well, if the grandparents were in the U.S., couldn't the kids go with her or them? So many questions and so many unanswered questions, eh? All right. I do have a live tomorrow night, so I'm gonna have to. You always tried figuring it out too? Okay. Well, I'll do this every night then. I do have a live every night this week. Tomorrow, I believe it. What am I doing tomorrow? I think tomorrow I'm doing spontaneous combustion. I think spontaneous human combustion. Because I remember reading about that a long time ago. Yeah, that's for tomorrow night. Okay. I don't trust the cops here. I've gone to them, but anti-vaxxers saying they wanted to blow a hospital and cops saw the actual comments. They wouldn't fucking do anything. Oh my God. Hell no, Brenda. Yeah, I've always been interested in spontaneous human combustion. I have this book and it was I got it from the library when I first started reading books. I think I was like 10, 9 or 10. And it was Mysteries of the Unexplained. It was a big hardcover book and I was like, "Hmm, I'm gonna get it." And that's what fascinated me with UFOs and aliens and ghosts and Bigfoot and the Mothman and the New Jersey Devil, spontaneous human combustion, everything. I wanted to know everything. My mind just blew up with questions and oh, it was the best book. I actually I have it. I never returned it. You studied that in dentistry, really? Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to keep my lives that I plan on doing all week. And then after that live or before, I'll do like an hour of reading of the staircase. But tomorrow is going to be the spontaneous human connection. Get time, look up his son. Okay, I will. Well, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I'll be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. or earlier and after. All right, you guys have a great night. I will be back tomorrow. Bye, guys.